This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on and ready to go. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. How are we doing? Are we enjoying the Euros? Hey, in Gareth we trust. Didn't we? And I've always said, hey, Sterling, what a fantastic player. Love the guy. Yeah, maybe I didn't say those few things before, but you know what us fans are like, fickle if nothing else. Hey, got something a little bit different for you tonight, but where can you see us? Well, you can see us on Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group. You can see us on YouTube at Leicester Till I Die TV, and you can see us in the old Twitter sphere at LTID. And if you are watching on the YouTube version, please click those buttons, smash the likes on the video, subscribe to the channel, please. We're slowly building it. Every subscribe helps. And of course, ring that bell so you never miss a video. What we're doing tonight, well, is a little bit different. I'll show you what you're doing what you're doing tonight, what we're doing tonight. I've been at the gym again. We're doing the prediction show. It's I know you could say we're a little bit early, but it's a break from the Euros, isn't it? And that's what I need at the moment. I never thought I'd say you can get too much football, but you know, the Euros this year, yeah, we just could do without it. So what we're going to be doing is predicting how the Premier League table is going to finish next year. Now, not the full table. We'd be here till the end of the Euros. Let's be honest with you. Might not be a bad thing though, but we're going to be predicting, myself and a few guests, hopefully if they can pop in, we're going to be predicting the top four, where you think Leicester will finish if it's not in the top four, and who's going to go back down or straight back down, whichever way you want to look at it, to the Championship. So the top four, the bottom three, and where Leicester are. So let me get this up and running and say we're going to look at it and start it straight after this.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chumps. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV. Please subscribe now on YouTube.
I just thought I'd flag that up for you there. See what I did there? Thank you. I'm here all month, which is probably a threat more than anything. So you can basically say I've started us off there, and this is what I think will happen. Now, what I want you guys to do is agree, disagree, tell me we're talking rubbish, tell me if you agree, and I'm the best thing since Alan Hansen. I think it might be the former, don't you? But this is what I am predicting for next season. Obviously, a lot can change between now and then because there's no transfers. But at the end of the day, this is what I think is going to happen. I think Chelsea will be signing a few players. I think that goes without saying. And I did like Tuchel. I didn't like him when he first came, but respect for the guy, the way that he handled losing to us in the FA Cup on the pitch, and I did like his reaction to winning the Champions League. That side, that's not going to win in the league, but I think he's going to turn that Chelsea team. Doesn't, he'd got it working. And I honestly think, had Tuchel been at Chelsea from the start of the season and not Lampard, they may well have won it this season, because Man City had a bad start. So, I know, giving Tuchel the transfer window, giving him, the full season, I can see Chelsea pipping it to first place there. In second, I just think Manchester City, I can't see them doing back-to-back ones, to be honest with you. I think they will. I think the Champions League defeat will hit them harder than they probably want to admit, which you can understand to some degree. It depends, how they react to that. And I suppose if anybody's going to get them a good reaction out of them, of course it is Pep. I just think basically they will struggle this season with Chelsea coming through strong. Liverpool will be Liverpool. They had the one good season. They struggled this season. They came good at the end. That's what I used to tell my wife. Hang on till the end, I'll come good. But they're there in third. I just think that's where they're going to be most of the time. I really, really do. And Man United will deceive to flatter again, and they will be fourth. Say good evening to a couple of Facebook users. Don't know who they are. Somebody said here, quite rightly, depends who Leicester sign to if we finish top four. It depends who we sign, depends who we are able to hold on to, who we sell. It's true for every club, but I think Leicester are going to struggle just to get into the top four, to be honest with you. But fifth for the third season wouldn't be that bad. I think we'd take that now, wouldn't we? And going down, like a bridesmaid's underpants on a wedding night there, those three. Crystal Palace. Well, Roy's gone. I think he was the only thing that was possibly keeping them up. Got a new manager yet, and the transfer window's open. I just think I think they're going to struggle this term. I really do think they are. The players that they've got that's kept them up and getting on a little bit. I can't see them doing anything better than 18th, to be honest with you. I think it's their year. And for Burnley as well. I'm sorry, Burnley. I hadn't realised until I looked at the table at the end of the season how bad you'd done. Had Fulham actually had a decent run, then who knows? You may well have been down this season. I think the new owners are coming in. Are they going to spend? Are they going to stick with Dyche? It's a lot of questions to be asked by Burnley this season. And Watford, yeah, up and down, like I say, like the old bride's boudoir. I just think two months in, if it lasts that long, though, what Watford are like, say they change the managers more often than I change my underwear. And that's saying something. But they will actually, I think, end up changing the manager. That'll all blow it out, like West Brom this season. And I'm sorry, Watford fans, but you're going up and going straight back down again. Quickly say good evening to David before we bring in my first guest. Chris, in your opinion, if we make some good signings, can actually challenge for Champions League, who out of the top four might we replace? Well, if you look at that there, it's going to be Man United. I think... I know they've come second this year, but they don't impress me. They don't impress me. I think them coming second was more, Liverpool and Chelsea struggling more than Man United doing well. And they did have a bad start to the season as well. But if we are going to finish top four, looking at my choice there, it's going to be Man United we replace. We'll say good evening. You've seen this gentleman a few times now recently. Sat there patiently waiting. Matt, how the devil are you, sir?
Hi, Chris. I'm good, thanks. You?
Mm-hmm. My voice is going already. I need a gin. There we go. So, first of all, what do you think of my selection?
Interesting.
That's very polite. That is very polite.
I mean, the top four, I've got exactly the same top four, just in a different order. Relegation-wise, Burnley surprises me because I think with Sean Dyche, they're always going to they're always going to battle. They're always going to fight. And in Chris Wood, they've got a really good goal scorer as well, and tends to be the difference between the clubs who get relegated and the clubs who stay up. But
Burnley have gone down before under Sean Dyche, and I just think they could lose Tarkowski this season. I mean, there's whether we go for him or whether anybody else goes for him, but I think he'll be looking and thinking, God, is this the sort of team I'm in? And I think it'll be interesting to see what the new owners do. But let's have a look, sir. We're going to go through your choices now. Who have you got in that top spot?
So first of all, I've got Manchester City. I think they've looked second, well, really the last 3 quarters of the season. They've just looked outstanding. They lost the Champions League final, obviously, but there's that saying that there's no more of a dangerous animal than a wounded animal. And I think Pep will be spending the summer studying what went wrong last year. He will be looking to replace Aguero. There's heavily rumoured with Harry Kane, and I think if they get somebody like Harry Kane or they get another good goal scorer to go up front, I just can't see anybody stopping them. I really can't.
And in second,
I've gone for Chelsea.
I think our top 4s are pretty much agreed all the way across, apart from what order they're in.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think like you've just said, if Tuchel's got if he's got a transfer window, now they're the Champions League winners. It's more attractive for people. He'd got them playing some really good stuff. So yeah, I can definitely see them pushing Manchester City. I don't think there'll be a massive difference between first and second. I don't think anyone will run away with it this year. I think it'll be tight. But I do still think the Man City will slightly edge it.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I've just got it the other way around, but I do think it is going to be extremely, extremely tight. And third, who's your third choice?
So I've gone for Liverpool in third, same as you. But they've lost Wijnaldum. He's going to be a big loss for them. Have they got money to spend? I think out of the top 4, they seem to have the least amount of spending power. You know that Man City and Chelsea are going to spend money. You know that Man United are going to spend money. I'm not sure about Liverpool. I don't know if we've seen the peak of Liverpool and if they're now on another decline like they experienced in the 90s. Yeah.
I think we have seen them peak. I think it was a very good peak. Let's not lie, but it was a damn good season. But and who have you got just sneaking into that last Champions League spot?
Exactly the same as you, Manchester United. I think they're always going to be up there. They are only a couple of players away from really, really pushing for the top spot. But I don't think they've got enough. I think Manchester City, Chelsea are already much further ahead of them. If they got Harry Kane, if they signed Jadon Sancho, maybe it's a slightly different story. But at the minute, I can see them getting into the top 4, but not really setting the world alight.
Okay, and of course, the big question that everybody wants to know is where you have little old Leicester.
So it worries me a little bit with Leicester, especially with the rumours at the moment around Tielemans going. There's a concern over whether Vardy is going to be, next season will be the Vardy of the second half of the season where he didn't score as many, or whether it'll be the Vardy of the first half of the season. There's also question marks over Iheanacho. Is he going to be the Iheanacho that we all knew before January, or the goal scoring Iheanacho afterwards? I've got them down for 7th place. On the back of the fact that we've got a Europa League game. I don't think we had a big enough squad last year. We've already seen how much we struggle with injuries to our key players. And I am worried about us possibly losing one of the big stars again this year. I'm hoping that I am proved wrong and that by the end of the season, Leicester have swapped place with Man City in that.
Oh, I'd give you that. I'd allow that. Do you think seventh? I mean, somebody sort of said there would top be happy with fifth again for me. Could you see if we finish seventh, top making big changes at the top to use the word twice?
I think it depends on what we do. If we don't spend any money again, and the concerns for me are that Arsenal, Tottenham, all those teams around us, they will have money to spend. They will strengthen their squad, so we have to do as well. And we have a habit over the last few seasons of selling one of our top players. I know we've replaced them in the past, but I do worry that we could lose somebody and not replace them. If that's the case, I think expectations will have to be lowered. I'd like to see us go on a good cup run again, maybe a good run in the Europa League. I think if we could win a cup and finish seventh, I think top would probably be happy with that. But if it's seventh place and we have dismal cup runs, then possibly not.
It will be an interesting season, won't it? I mean, can you believe that we are saying if Leicester finish seventh, we'll be disappointed?
I know.
How things have changed when you think about it, really. Scott, I can see your top four, and I'll be coming to that in a second once Matt's done his. So Matt, that's an interesting top four and Leicester place. Just out of interest, would you have Arsenal and Tottenham in fifth and sixth?
I mean, again, it's really difficult to do at the minute because I don't think any club have actually made any changes.
That's why I'm doing it at the moment. I don't like to do things easy.
Yeah. I mean, with Tottenham, it all depends on Bale and Kane for me. If they keep those two, then they've definitely got something. I mean, any team that has the top goal scorer in the Premier League and the top assist scorer in the Premier League is definitely going to be up there challenging for a top six place at least. Arsenal they're just a strange team because they've not really done great over the last couple of years, yet they're still up there in the top seven. They've won an FA Cup as well, so they're only a signing or two away from challenging. And there's always a team who sneak in there, a team who surprise us all. Again, I'm not going to make myself very popular at all, putting Leicester in seventh, but it wouldn't surprise me if Villa managed to make it into the top six this year.
Right. Okay. So moving down to the other end of the table. Yeah. You were surprised with my choices. Let me say, I can't be surprised with yours because obviously I know what they are, but surprised. I think yours are going to be different to mine. So, who have you got? Let's do the bottom ones. Let's start with 20th. Who do you think is going to come bottom?
The 20th, I've put Brighton.
Wow.
So they play some decent football, but they did struggle last year. They just stayed out of the relegation zone. I can't see them attracting many players this year. I can see them losing somebody. I think people like Ben White is getting a lot of attention at the moment. It wouldn't surprise me if he was snapped up by a bigger club. And I think they are only one or two players away from tumbling down the table. And I think they're really going to struggle next season.
And of course, and I've forgotten the gentleman's name, the manager leaves as well, and he's rumoured to be, with every position that's going, that could be a big difference as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could. But I just don't see Brighton. I can just see them really struggling this season.
Right. Yep. I wouldn't argue with that. And joining them in 19th, who have you got there?
I've got Watford. Same as you. I think they are very much like Leicester in the 80s, quite a yo-yo team. They're almost too good for the Championship, but they're just lacking that little bit of quality that they need to stay up and compete in the Premier League. Again, it all depends on who they sign this year, but based on their owners. He likes to get managers gone quite quickly, doesn't he? He doesn't give them very long.
He does. He does indeed.
Unsettling. So it wouldn't surprise me that they, lose a couple of games, get a new manager in, and every time a new manager comes in, it takes the team, a bit longer to settle. The players have to get used to the different style of play, and I think that's going to affect them. I can't see Watford staying up either. No.
Like you say, they do have the revolving door on the manager's office, don't they? And we saw with West Brom this season. It's it doesn't always make the difference that you hope it's going to. But and who just sneaks in? Who just drops into that bottom three for you?
This one's probably a surprising one, but I'm going for Wolves.
You say surprising, and I have to. Oops, hang on. I've just swapped that around. There we go. I had Wolves in and out. Like 1 minute I thought they would, then I thought they wouldn't. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Definitely, though.
Yeah. I mean, they did play some good stuff a couple of years ago when they were promoted, and they finished quite strong. Ever since then, they've been slightly weaker each season. I think losing Jota last year didn't help them. Not impressed with the new signing. Was it Fabio Silva who came in as a replacement? I know he's only young, but he hasn't done a lot for me. I think Ruben Neves. Interestingly, I was speaking to a former Wolves player a week or so ago, and he's not impressed with Neves either. His quote was, "He scored 1 goal and he just lives off that." I think with the manager going as well, I know they've got another Portuguese manager in, so there's a bit of continuity there. But I can see them starting to lose some of the players. People like Moutinho are getting older. I can see them really getting drawn into it. I don't think it will be as much of a foregone conclusion as this season, where the teams who were relegated were confirmed with 3 to 4 games to play. I think this is going to go down to the wire. I think Crystal Palace will be drawn into it. Burnley will certainly be down there, but I can see Wolves being that third club who fall into the relegation spot.
No, I think you got a good shout there, and I think Wolves. I still don't know to this point why Nuno left, but there we go. These things happen, and I thank you very much, Matt, for your choices and your explanation of those. At least Leicester are in the bottom 3. That's something.
No, I can't put them there. I did feel bad about putting them in 7.
Well, I think I'm about to get some abuse because we've got a gentleman coming on in a second from one of the teams I have put in the bottom 3. So we might hear some bad language. I might have to get my beeper going for the bad language. Matt, thanks very much as always, mate. Take care, and thanks for your choices, and we'll speak soon.
Great. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you. And Scott, thanks very much, mate. Yeah, just running through your choices here. Your top 4 would be Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, and West Ham. Wow. With Manchester City 5th and Leicester 6th. I'm speechless, Scott, with that one. Liverpool top, West Ham in 4th. Hey, get down the bookies, get a fiver on it. And you've got Wolves, Palace, and Southampton to be relegated. Wow, you've gone out on a. I should have had you on, Scott. I should have had you on. Hey, talking about getting people on, get my nemesis in here from a Burnley fan. I'm sure he's going to have something to say about where I put his team. Good evening, Dan.
How's it going, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not so bad, not so bad. Give your channel a quick shout out before we start, so we don't forget.
No problem. So, it's Turf MoorHouse. We're just short of 90 subscribers. Fingers crossed I'll reach that by the end of the watch-along that we've got going for the France-Germany game after this. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all under the same name, at Turf MoorHouse.
Yeah, I will. I might pop in and give you grief. Well,
not wrong with that, mate. All I'm going to be doing is stuffing my face with pizza, drinking Budweiser, and watching the football. So
hey,
I'm all ears.
The ideal man's the ideal man's evening in, eh?
Oh, trust me. I just need a mattress on the floor and a TV static corner propped up. That'll be in my element.
I think your wife might have something to say about that, though.
Oh, she can say what she wants. I don't care.
She's out for the evening, is she?
No, she's upstairs, luckily.
Well, at least you're not watching this. But hey, I'm sorry, I've got Burnley up there in 19th.
Hey, not a problem. Not a problem. At the end of the day, it all depends on the sort of summer that we have.
Yes, yeah. I mean, this is harder. And I just said to Matt, it's very easy to do these things 2 days before the season starts. We all know what players have come in. But looking at it now, when you got to think, well, what might they bring in? And you've got the new owners. I said to you the other day on the show we did that I was surprised that Burnley were as low as they were, to be honest with you. And he's gone down before with Sean Dyche, but I've just got a bad feeling for you, mate. I'm really sorry.
Honestly, no offense taken. I honestly thought this season was the season we went. So if we went this season, it was sort of, was from my perspective expected.
Yeah. I'm sure you can get your own back with where you'll put Leicester in a minute. But let's go through these then, because I appreciate you've got your own show to move on to. So who have you got winning the damn thing?
Unfortunately, I've still gone with the usual. I've gone for Manchester City to win the league. Unfortunately, it was a toss-up between them and Chelsea, especially if Chelsea, similar to us, that would have been a bit weird. Chelsea is spending this summer. You can see that they've got a bit of spending power again. So Chelsea would definitely be up there in second. City winning the league's just, it started becoming a bit standard now, hasn't it? I mean, I know they're looking for a striker. I don't think they're ever going to find somebody that fits Aguero's caliber. No. If they do, I'll be surprised. But yeah, I just think now's the time that you might see a bit of grit and determination from City to actually fight for it.
I think it is going to be a fight this season, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. I think you've got to look at the likes of Ferran Torres, thinking that you had a couple of games last season, but this is your time to shine. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if Sterling gets back to his best, that's another big player for City. So I've just gone for City on the basis that the quality's already there. Chelsea is still having to bring in that extra bit of quality that they need in under Tuchel or Tuchel, whatever he's called.
Both of them.
Him as well.
No wonder they're doing well. We've got two managers.
It's like a conveyor belt at Chelsea with managers, though, isn't it? So you don't know who's coming in and who's going out. So
this is very true. Can you see Kane going to Man City?
Yes, and no, and I say it like that because
don't sit on the fence, mate. Don't sit on the fence. Watch those.
I'm not just sat on the fence. I've got the top spark firmly up my rear. Honestly, this is the thing is with Harry Kane. It's such a sticky one because you can understand why City will go in for him. He adds to the English quartet that obviously is needed now with teams.
Yeah.
It's one of those though. Do they want to pay that sort of fee for a player that's got glass ankles that you have to use no more nails on his ankles throughout the season, don't you? Half the time.
I mean, he still won the Golden Boot, but I suppose if anybody can afford it, it is Man City. That's the thing. And your third place team. There's a bit of a pattern developing here, by the way, guys. If you're watching.
Yeah, I've gone for Liverpool, and I've only gone on the basis of how they have done towards the latter end of last season.
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't expecting that run. Out of nowhere. 1 minute they sat in seventh.
We were hoping there wasn't going
to that's what I mean. They were sat in seventh. Everton was sat in eighth. It was a case of who's going to finish above it, who in terms of the Scouse teams.
Yeah.
And then Liverpool just turned up, and obviously they did a job on us. They got past us. Obviously won all the rest of the games.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Thanks for that.
Yeah, sorry, we couldn't do all this time. There were no Joe Gomez for Ben Mee to clean straight out, so.
And finishing that top four, is it Leicester? Drum roll.
It's It's Manchester United, unfortunately. I don't think they're going to do as well as they did. I mean,
I think Ollie's peaked, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I think next season's the season where they sort of get found out, and they'll be lucky to finish top 4.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm putting them there. So yeah, depends again on how they're strengthened. But Leicester, based on the position that they finished, based on what's to come next season, where where's the shift of the focus going to be? I've gone for 7.
Okay, I mean the guy before you was a Leicester fan, Matt. He only put it in 7th, so
it's a tough one because I really wanted to put you higher than that, and not just because I was coming on your show. I really wanted to do that, but as like Andrew's comment, to be fair, just going back to that, I think Kane would. I think it'd be quite decent. A Kane drops, it gives Mahrez and Sterling a bit more freedom to run down the wings. Yeah. But tomato, we're not Pep Guardiola, are we?
No. I wish. Apparently, he is in the top. I think it's the top 10 of the women's secret fantasies.
Oh,
yes.
Christ. Well, if I've made top 20, I'd still be happy then.
Yeah, if I made the top 2 million, I'd be bloody happy.
I were going to quote Cloughy. And say, well, as long as I'm in the top 1.
Oh, yes, indeed. One of the best quotes ever. Andy says he used to like Burnley. We all used to like Burnley, but them days have gone. So you think the 7th for us with having this Europa League again? And
yeah, I think obviously depending on where your focus pattern is, obviously you can't not look at the league. It's there. Yeah, exactly. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I think 7th would be a good season, especially if you get very far in the Europa League. Yeah. If you get to the final, win or lose, 7th place finish, I don't think that's a bad season. So yeah, I'm even gonna predict that you'll probably go all the way in the Europa League this year.
I'd take winning the Europa League and finishing 7th. I think most Leicester fans would. Right, you haven't got us relegated in revenge for what I said then. So no. Who have you got in bottom place in the big fat 20?
I've gone Norwich, dead bottom.
Really?
I've had to go for them just because of the fact they've lost such an influential player in Buendia.
Yeah.
I mean, you've not seen in the Championship players like Cantwell's not been the same as what he were when they're in the Prem. He's sort of just been average. Buendia's been their standout performer, and he's gone now. And it's what Daniel Farke does with that squad now. They've had decent players. They've had Patrick Roberts on loan from City and stuff like that. But I just don't. I think this is it for Norwich. They're the nowadays of West Brom, up and down, up and down.
You don't think they're going to learn from this season? And yeah, they're losing players, but might bring some in.
No, I think even if they do bring some in, I don't think it's going to be enough quality to keep them up. Maybe putting them rock bottom is probably harsh. But obviously, if I was going on to my next pick, it was close. It was tough between who I put 19th and 20th, but unfortunately Norwich bit the bullet.
So who have you put in 19th then?
I've gone Brentford. I've gone for Brentford just because if Ivan Toney has a quality season.
Killing the dream off already.
I know.
Just does your middle name ESL by any chance?
No, it's just one of them where they've been fighting to get up for years and years and years, and I like the way that they do it as well. Using sports science and looking at things like that. And I think it's a model that Burnley are trying to go down as well. But whether it pans out, I don't know.
I can just see Brentford for the first season being a bit of a Sheffield United. I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and I think they've got Tony, who I would have loved to have bought, but that's going to go out the window now. But yeah, I just think they will have the dream year like Sheffield United did, and then maybe be down there next season. And just sneaking into your bottom three,
Crystal Palace.
Well, I can't argue with that because I've gone for the same.
I had to. I just think that losing Roy Hodgson is massive, and I think that no matter who they've had, when they had Frank de Boer, it didn't work. It didn't work then. Hodgson sort of came in and steadied the ship. Now, with Hodgson, I see a bit of similarities to when we had Owen Coyle. He came in, he steadied the ship. They had a bit of success. He's kept them fighting. He's took them quite high in the division, and it's in only the past few seasons where they've been sort of flirting around that bottom half area.
Yeah.
So losing someone like him, as we did in 2009 with Coyle, it sort of, I feel like it's going to have a bit of a knock-on effect. And you look at some of the players at Palace as well. They're aging. So
yes, yeah. No, I agree with you. They're exactly the two things I said: aging players and they're losing Roy Hodgson. I think that is it. Well, I hope, as you know, I do have an affinity for Burnley. I hope they don't finish in the bottom three, because we couldn't have these chats.
No, that's true. That's true.
But hey, again, give a quick shout out to your channels, mate.
So yeah, it's just Turf MoorHouse. I'll be going live literally in another 5-10 minutes. Going to try and see how many slices of pizza I can scoff before I get on camera. But yeah, honestly, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all under @Turf MoorHouse. And yeah, just feel free to give us a like. It'd just be appreciative. You don't even have to watch. Just give us a like. Seriously, it means more than anything.
That's what I do. I like you, but I never watch you.
That's what I mean, mate. I follow Burnley, and I've created a Burnley channel. I've never watched a game.
I don't blame you. In fairness, I really don't blame you. But hey, mate, thanks a lot for coming on. I say I've got the show to finish and then upload and everything, but I'll try and pop on and give you some banter.
Nah, no problem. Cheers for that, Chris.
Right, all the best, and
you
got a big up there from Ankit. So, yes. Take care, mate. See you later.
Cheers. Take care, pal.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. So that's the Burnley fan gone. We've got another Leicester fan coming on in the second in Brad. I can see him gently waiting there. Hopefully. He's got over North Macedonia losing, but don't mention it. I said it to him once afterwards, but I think I got away with it. Ankit, I mean, I'm just going to say you've gone here. Chelsea first, Man City second. I mean, you're a Chelsea fan. You're bound to, aren't you? But I had to say I agree. I agreed with you. We're going to get Brad straight back in, and we'll be back with him straight after this.
It didn't happen in 49, 61, 63 or 69 when they reached the final. But the class of 2021 have delivered. Leicester City are FA Cup winners at last and are history makers at Wembley.
Leicester Till I Die TV, home of the FA Cup winners.
I'm never going to get bored of that. I am sorry, never going to get bored. Brad, good evening, sir.
Evening, mate.
Excuse me. I'm going to have to do this. Let me just take the chart out. I'm going to have to make you. Where are we here? Now, just give us a. Can you hear me still?
I can still hear you, mate. Yeah,
you can still hear me. Give us a flick of that ponytail. My God, look at it. Look.
It's got more flick about it than Scotland. I can say that much.
The man bun will come up next week, won't it?
Yeah, maybe I might take it that step further, mate. But in regards to my meltdown at the Euros in our prediction show, at least my team scored a goal, unlike Scotland. Sorry, have I mentioned Scotland enough yet? At the loss?
No. You carry on mentioning Scotland. You know, look at this like, well, they're one of the home nations. We've got to support them. No, you haven't. Let's all laugh at Scotland. So,
yeah, because they'd have laughed at us if we lost to Croatia, wouldn't they? So, you know.
I have a titter at Wales and I have a laugh at Scotland, and I do have a bit of sympathy with Northern Ireland, got to be honest with you. But what do you think so far then of the try? And I know everybody's saying like, well, you know, we don't know what's going to be happening between now and the start of the season, but that's the fun bit about it. We don't.
Yeah, and that is the fun part about it. But sometimes, especially when it comes to the top four predictions, maybe even the bottom three to a degree, you find a regularity, the mean, or whatever it is, whatever turn of phrase you want to use for it. You normally get them right. It's just maybe in a different order. And the only surprise I can see there is I'm very surprised. Well, am I surprised? I'm probably surprised to see Wolves being picked as a relegation. But I'm not surprised in the sense that I agree that I think they're going to have a bad season.
Yeah, you've got a fan there, Brad Rocks. I tell you.
That's it. Now the PayPal's coming.
Brad rocks like a rocking horse, and you've got the ponytail to hold on to. You know, just hopefully if he lifts it up, he doesn't shit out the back of his head. But that's another problem.
I've got my Avengers shirt on, so I'm hoping to be inspiration from North Macedonia, mate. I've still got my hope.
Hey, check out the channel, guys. If you haven't watched it already, check out Leicester Till I Die TV. It's under latest shows and also European shows, and it's how Brad owns as if he'd got North Macedonia in the sweepstake. You know, but going back to Wolves, I was that close to having Wolves in because I think changing the manager is going to have a big effect on them. But this is your time, Brad. So who's going to win the Premier League next season?
You know what? I sent you my predictions, didn't I, when you asked me? And I think I'm going to say them quite different to what I remember saying to you. Because I kind of
no. I have done the artwork. If you're gonna pick the same teams, fine. Otherwise, you're gonna have to stick with what you predicted. I'm afraid, because I haven't got any extra artwork. So.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm pretty sure I went with Manchester City to win it, and I still stand by that. That's not changed. So I definitely think Man City are going to win it.
You did have Man City to win it, yes.
There's a lot of people saying Liverpool, and I think they're going to bottle it. Because all this. Oh yeah, we've got the injuries talk, like Klopp said all season.
Yeah.
Well, stuff your injuries, because when they come out the curtain and they've got a fully fit squad, watch them still fail it. I think Man City have just got the quality.
Yeah. So what you've got in your second choice was Liverpool, though.
Yeah, and that's mainly because I don't think it'll be a close title race. That's the thing. I think this will be one of them seasons where Man City just wipe the floor of it, and then you'll have these teams fighting amongst themselves. I'm pretty sure I've then got. I think I went with Chelsea. Did I go Chelsea third, or is that
third? You had. Let's have a look, Brad. You had Chelsea in third.
Yeah, I think Tuchel might not be the most entertaining manager to watch, but I think, you know, somehow they managed it this season, didn't they, to get into top four? And thanks, all thanks to us. We did that on purpose. We knew what was doing in the FA Cup. We knew we was going to smash them in that. So, all right. But on a serious note, no, they look good. Whether you like them or not, or the style of play, they're a good side. I just think that you've got a sense that with the way Chelsea swing the axe, I think third's a minimum they need to get in the league. And if he does that, if he gets third this season, when we do this again next season, I might be putting them top of the league, because I think they've got to stick with a manager and build for a title charge. I think they're still a bit off it. They need to settle. So that's why I went with third.
Yeah, and David, I agree. Sorry, David, I agree with you totally there, mate. I was with I was on the edge with putting Wolves. I had Newcastle in at one point. You know, I like Molina in trying to make my mind up. I'm terrible. Ankit, Brad, we won the UCL for God's sake.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're going to win the Premier League. Doesn't mean you're going to win the Premier League or come in the top two. You just did very well in a competition that you have to play an opponent twice every time. And I'm not taking anything away from your achievement. It was absolutely fantastic. But my point still stands. You have to build towards a title, and you don't stick with managers regardless of what they win. You've sacked managers when they've won the Champions League, so you can't say that. You know?
Yeah. And Lampard may have gone on a 16-game unbeaten run, but he still didn't keep him his job, did it?
Exactly.
It'd be interesting to see who gets rid of the manager first next season, Chelsea or Watford, to be honest with you. But this is the moment I've been waiting for the whole show. That's as close to a drum roll as I can get. Who have you got in fourth?
It's got to be the Foxes. Leicester City.
Yes, I was panicking then that I hadn't actually got.
You were like, "Oh no, he's going to say something different." Yeah, so I went brave. I went to back the fourth place bottlers, as we get called, and say third time's a charm. I think in a way we'll actually focus more on our league form, and that might sound ridiculous, but I think there was such an emphasis of how close Leicester got the season before in the League Cup, and obviously this season winning a certain FA Cup, not bragging or anything, but won FA Cup, you know what I mean?
Did we win? I tell you what, Brad, funny you should mention that.
Leicester Till I Die TV, the home of the FA Cup winners 2021.
Oh, and we have a Premier League trophy too.
I just like to remind people, you know.
I will be reminding them into my 70s, mate. No matter how many times we win it, I'll remind them every time how many times we've won it until I'm not on this planet anymore. It was great. But the reason I've gone with Leicester fourth isn't just because I'm a Leicester fan. It does have a slight bias, obviously. But for me, last season we achieved that long, outstanding goal. Not just because it was the FA Cup, but we were wanting to show that we were going to fight, still be up there and able to hold our own progress and competition. And I'm more inclined to agree with what Dan said. It was just on a second go from his Burnley channel. And I think we'll now swap our attention, because sometimes you have a burnout, don't you? When you win the league, you've seen teams that burn out, you know, when they put all their eggs into it, they burn out the next season. We all remember our league position the following season after we won, when we burnt out and put all our eggs into the Champions League. And I think with that in mind, and it's not easy to mentally prepare yourself, I think Leicester's now will look at their next objective and go, right, FA Cup's got a big tick to it. We've got silverware added to our recent silverware of the Premier League. We're going to go as best we can in the competitions, but we now need to prove that we can make that next step, which is top four. And that's why I've backed us to get top four.
No, that's good arguments. Good arguments. David says here, with Chelsea, I asked myself why they lose to Villa in the last game of the season. They were not guaranteed top four unless we lost. So I question what went wrong. You can also say, could you not, Brad, what went wrong with Leicester City on the last game of the season?
Yeah, I think the problem was, and I know, you know, that you can't really assume everything in football. It's the worst thing you can do is try and presume and assume things are going to go your way. Obviously, we all know 52 years between Leicester's last FA Cup final and this one, and they hadn't won it, and they put all their eggs in the basket. And I think the way the seasons have gone, they probably thought we can spend all our concentration and energy trying to win the FA Cup and achieve that, and in the nicest way possible, get away with it in the league, because things will happen. You know, we probably shouldn't, to a degree, we've done enough, and we'd rather, whether it's right or wrong or what people think of it, we'd rather focus all our energy and expend ourselves trying to beat Chelsea, which we did in their final, which is so important to the fans and the club because they've never won it. It's part of history. I think they kind of thought they could stumble through the next two games with trying to play the best football and play the best available squad. Obviously, by no means trying to throw the match against Chelsea or the match against Tottenham. But I think they tried to do it with their best 11 out but maybe at 70% health. I don't think they were fully fit. And I think that showed because from what we've seen at this season, Leicester were one of the better sides when they get in front at holding on to a lead. And I think you saw in the Tottenham game when it was 2-1, you didn't automatically get the feel that Leicester were going to get a third or see out the 2-1, that it was going to be hard work. And in the end, it's sort of like, because Spurs felt pretty much like for the past couple of weeks, they've practically had nothing to play for. And pretty much wasn't until they played us that they realised they had a chance to end the season on a semi-decent note, I guess. That they had the energy, they had the... I know we had the crowd, but that's only so much I can do when your players aren't at 100%. I just think that's where we got caught cold in them last two games, unfortunately. That's why I've gone for us to finish fourth, because if we focus on it and put the emphasis on it, I think we can come through to that end of the season and make sure we're in the top four and stay in it.
Yeah. I would... I mean... Got to be honest with you, I don't care what anybody says. I think the fact, and I said this earlier to Matt, the fact that we're talking that 7th and 8th would be a disappointment just shows how far we've gone down that road to growing, you know. But talking about reversing down the road, then who have you got in bottom place, the strongest team in the league because they're holding the other 19 up?
Oh, I remember one team. I'm pretty sure I remember all three of them.
You didn't give a note of this at all, did you?
I did. See, the thing is, I did, mate, and I did a massive clean out, and I put it in this book where I wrote it down. I've written all the shows that I'm going to be doing, and then we had a massive clear out, and I was like, right, this book's no good. I've got nothing of note in there, and then I lost it all down, and I'm going to say I went with
Brentford.
Norwich. Brentford, that was it. I knew it. Yeah, so I'm about to trick you. Yeah, Brentford. I think. I want to get on that Brentford hype train like everybody is, but unfortunately, football isn't always written on fairy tales. It's going to be cagey. I know Boris has put an extra 4 weeks on it, but it won't affect the season if we come out of lockdown in 4 weeks fully. So progressively through the season, I imagine more and more are going to be allowed into the stadium, and they've not got, in comparison to the rest of the Premier League, they've not got the biggest stadiums, and sometimes that can affect you more because it sounds a lot louder. We all remember Filbert Street. That sounds a lot louder when you watch the videos and the replays in your memories than sometimes the King Power does when it's like a few thousand short of being a full. And that can have an effect. I'm not saying they don't have the quality to potentially stay up, but I just don't think they've got enough in the bank to go out and credit, you know. And I sometimes feel that when it comes to January, if these teams are 8 points off safety or around that sort of mark in January, sometimes the owner, maybe takes an effect in the case of he plans for next year and then mixed defeat and goes, well, let's not spend anybody. Let's get a big chunk in for, say, Ivan Toney scores 12 goals and gets a couple of assists and looks good. You know, like one of them players that you say is too good to go down, doesn't deserve to be in the relegated side. And maybe they sell him to prepare for next season. But I just think it's going to be one of them with Brentford. I think they're going to swoon. And
for me, I said this earlier before you came in, you know, I'd love to see them do well. I think the fact that they've come up means they'll keep hold of Toney, which obviously I would have liked us to have gone in for, but you know, I think they'll hold on to him now. And I think they will have that one season blip because, you know, the people don't know them. I mean, we can remember, let's be honest with you, well, I can, Blackpool coming up and being top of the league for a week. You know, these teams sometimes when they come up do have that blip. Norwich started off very well when they came up. I just think that they will have a bit of a Sheffield United season. I hope they do anyway, but you know, you obviously don't, so we'll respect that decision. So I will drop you a hint here because I know you're struggling to remember who you picked. In 19th, young man, you had. Who did you have? You had Crystal Palace.
Yes, I remember you saying that's one we agreed on with Crystal Palace. Can I change it and put Arsenal in there just for a laugh? No?
Do you know what? Keep a lookout as to whether Arsenal or Tottenham make an appearance. It's like the Eurovision Song Contest here, isn't it? Both Arsenal and Tottenham are on nil point at the moment. I don't really get any marks by the end of the show. And the public vote says, But you've gone for Palace. You've gone for Palace.
Yeah. I kind of, because I joined on because I was interested to hear a different fan's perspective that isn't a Leicester fan's perspective. So that's why I was on a bit earlier in the background. And I made my decision on the same reasons that Dan did. I think sometimes you just prove a manager's credentials by keeping a team like Palace in the Premier League for so long. If you look at other YouTubers over the last 3 or 4 seasons, a lot of them would have put Palace in the bottom 3 every year. They would have Palace down, and Roy Hodgson kept them up, and he kept them up, and he kept them up. And sometimes when you take the big supporting beam out of the house, the building collapses. And I just think it's going to be one of them. I think it's you're taking out the soul of that club, and I've heard so many daft names linked with it. I don't understand some of the names that are being linked with that job. I don't know how they've managed to concode some of them. I think Nuno was linked with them. Frank Lampard was the first name. I don't know if they have appointed a manager yet.
No, I mean, this is what I can't understand with these teams is, Nuno's supposed to be going to Everton. The transfer window's open, I believe, now. Get a manager in ASAP to give him the longest time. There's some good managers out there. Howe is out there from Bournemouth.
I'm surprised he's been without a job for so long.
Well, he was close with Celtic, apparently, but I think I always said he wouldn't go to Celtic. It's too far north for him. You've got, Nuno out there. You've got some good manager, Frank Lampard, that he'd probably do a decent job at Palace. But let's have a look at your last choice now, because time is of the essence. And you had poor little old Norwich going straight back down.
Yeah, I did. I just feel like Norwich are going to be not like a derby in the sense that they're going to get they've already got a very unfortunate record, haven't they, of like the most relegations from this division or something like that. I know they've got that. And the last time they were in here, they were very dependent on Cantwell and Timo Pukki, who scored 6 goals in like the first 3 games and then didn't score again until like the end of the season. And by that point, they were already down. And I'm a bit disappointed in a way that Norwich have let Buendia go without already getting his replacement in. Because I remember when Leicester came up and I know we got Cambiasso, was probably one of the shock clubs to get Cambiasso with his track record before he joined us. It was probably a real surprise that we got him because we were just back in the Premiership. We hadn't been there for 10 years. And I just feel like you don't let a midfielder like Buendia go, regardless of the price. I think the price was pretty fair and even for him, especially if the add-ons are accumulated. I believe it was 38 million. But I don't think you let a player of that quality go without bringing in a ready-made replacement. And I don't think they're doing that. And I don't think they're showing any signs of doing that. And I think Daniel Farke is going to prove yet again his level of managing, which is the Championship. He's a second-tier manager. I think they're going to struggle. And honestly, the order these are in, because obviously I couldn't remember them, and I do apologise again, Chris, for my unprofessional prep for this show.
Yeah, hey, mate, I saw how drunk you were when you were shouting for North Macedonia, mate. I can understand you totally losing it.
But again, these teams could finish in any 3 order for me. Norwich could come bottom, Brentford could come 18. For me, relegation is again. It's a lot.
For me, I just think Norwich will learn from last time and they'll just avoid it. But Brad,
won't we?
Yeah, well, that's true. Brad, thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
You can stop sweating now. I did actually give you an extra 5 minutes because I saw your message earlier. You were panicking how you were going to get it all into 15 minutes. I'll give you an extra 5, I thought. You say hi to Rich. Nice, welcome on, Rich. No, nobody's picked you yet, Rich, but we've got a Man United fan coming up in a second, so who knows where he will put Man United. Brad, thanks very much, mate. I think we've got you next week, and I will see you then. Enjoy the Euros.
Yeah, we'll do. See you later. Good
Cheers,
luck.
guys. Thank you. Right, now then, we are going to get another opposing fan coming in. And I am feeling that this is a little bit like the Eurovision. The crowd is waiting here to see if Tottenham or Arsenal can get any points at all on the board. And we've got 2 juries to go to. And the first jury we've got is Manchester. Let's go over to Man. Good evening, Manchester. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chris. How are you? How's it going?
It's going very well, thank you, sir. How are you?
Very good, very good. Now, just enjoying the Euros. I know Ireland aren't in it. That's a shame. But, other than that, enjoying the festival of football so far.
Yeah, good. I hope you're following England, though.
Look, there's a couple of United players in the squad. I'm following England. Wouldn't say I'm supporting, but I'm keeping an eye on them.
Brilliant. Now then, like I say, we've got 3 exciting points to look at here. Is will Tottenham get a point off you? Will Arsenal get a vote off you? And will you have Man United top of the league? A bit like again in the I'm just laughing at what Melina said. I'll bring it up in a minute. Will we see a bit of tactical voting here and you vote for your yourself basically? But Melina's saying here, this is Ankit. If only they'd count the votes in chat. Chelsea. Yeah, we'll put you 3 votes down for relegation there, Ankit. Melina says, nice to see a sensible Man United fan on the panel. Yeah, who's that, Melina? Yeah, send me his name and I'll get him on, Right, so thanks for joining us, Keane. From all that, you will, of course, if you have not seen Keane before, give us a shout out for your channel, mate.
Yes, you can catch me on the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast, and we cover all things Manchester United over there. Also, we do have an all-women's football show over there, and we do have a new Premier League podcast that's up and running since last week.
Brilliant. Check those out, guys. Rich is having a dig at you here straight away, saying, I think he means Leicester, actually. Will City bottle Champions League again? I have a feeling we might. Chris, relegation, great humour you've got, mate, I must say. Chelsea, you never know with Chelsea. But, Keane, let's have a look. Who have you got winning the Premier League next season?
It's a shame. I'm going to put them in there, but Manchester City. Manchester City win the league for me next year. I think, look, Pep Guardiola, he's relentless. I think they bought very well in the transfer window last year. They look like they're going to get Harry Kane in this transfer window. That they look like they're coming in for another couple of players. So again, Guardiola, he's not similar to Sir Alex in terms of greatness. I think Sir Alex is still a lot better manager, and I don't think anyone ever touched him. But one thing Guardiola does do well is continuity and consistency, and I think he'll continue that next season. I think there is a lot of talented players in that squad that can only get better, and unfortunately, I have him winning the league next season, but I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as it was this season in terms of there wasn't a title race towards the end of the year. I think this league next season, there's going to be, about 2 or 3 teams kind of challenging City next year.
Yeah, I think Rich, as a Man United fan, is on very sticky ground here, saying Man City bottling the Champions League. Are Man United going to bottle the Europa League again next season? That's the question.
We're not in it next season, anyways. Right now, we won't be, not unless we bottle.
I was going to say, excuse me, can I just say you weren't in it at this point last season either.
Yeah, but look, we did get it. We got a tough group, but we messed it up for ourselves towards the end of it. But look, hopefully, for my sake, I hope we're not in that competition again, because even though watching football on a Thursday is great, you don't have to watch your soaps on a Thursday. But for the life of me, I do not want to be in the Europa League on a Thursday. No way.
You see, I personally, and no disrespect at all here to Man United, because it's not just Man United that it affects, but I think the fact that you had teams that were Champions League teams coming down into the Europa League is just money, basically. It's unfair.
UEFA, 100%.
Yeah, as I say, you got to the league, and I wanted you to the final, and I wanted you to win because I want British teams to win. But like I say, to my mind, you shouldn't have been there as a Champions League team. I don't think the Europa teams are dropping down into the Europa Conference at all. But hey, I could be wrong on that. But I think it is like we said, it's all along. It's all about money. Now, so you got the blue half of City finishing first. Who have you got in second?
I have Man United second place this season again. I think, look, I'm saying this now on the 15th of June, simply because looking at the transfer window that we're potentially going to have with Jadon Sancho coming in, a centre-back and potentially now a defensive midfielder coming in after the Euros. We get all them in, that solidifies our spine. It makes our first 11 a lot better. It allows Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes to have a lot more freedom, and it gives us, a better chance to perform next season. I think we will improve. We're improving season on season. So, whereas I don't think we'll improve, I don't think we'll win the league yet. I don't think this squad is ready yet. I think there's still maybe another year or two for some of the younger players such as Rashford and Greenwood to really develop. But I do think we'll do well next season. I do think we'll challenge Manchester City. And I do think, though, whereas if we do come second in the league next year, I do think we'll win a trophy next season, whether that be the League Cup, FA Cup, or even, dare I say, do we go far in the Champions League next year? It remains to be seen. But I do put us second. But that's pending on the transfer window. Like, you could talk to me now in about 7 weeks' time. And if the Glazers don't do the business like they said they were going to do in the meeting last week, then look, by all means, I probably have us 2 places lower. If we don't get the business done.
Yeah, I'll just say it was so easy to do this later in the window, and we all know who we signed. But that'd be too easy then.
Oh yeah, but if you look at the way the plans are laid out now for me, and if it happens that they put their money where their mouth is, and goes the way it goes, then I do believe that's where we'll be. Is it where we want to be? No, I want to be top of the league, but you have to be realistic sometimes. And I think Manchester City are still just on that different level, not just first 11, but their overall squad. Like, people could say United have depth in their squad, but there's a difference to having depth and having strength in that depth. And we don't have strength in that depth yet. When you go beyond their first 11, it isn't great.
Can I make one plea? And I have made this plea before, but on behalf of 19 Premier League teams, if you're going to sign Sancho, please just bloody well sign him. Don't drag it out all season again, please.
Look, it's going to happen. I think it's just a case of when, not if, at this point. And I think it's just a shame the European Championships are happening when they are now. But like, it looks like both clubs are on the same page. Like last year, like Dortmund were telling Patrice Evra to tell Matt Judge to pick up his phone. Do you know what I mean? To get the deal done last year, but United didn't want to pay the extra 20 million. Now we've got that price down, but now we're still haggling. But from what it looks like, from all the journalists that are coming out and things that are coming out from the club and people I've spoken to, it looks like both clubs are singing off the same hymn sheet, and the deal will be done.
Yeah. Well, I could say, fingers crossed that it's sooner rather than later. Al, then, in third place, who have you got finishing third behind you?
I have Chelsea finishing third. Again, I'm saying this literally off the knowledge I have now in terms of you looking at their both clubs' current plans. Hakimi's going in. He's going to be a good signing. I think Thomas Tuchel, when you really look at their domestic form when he came in, at the start was very good. I think Chelsea's domestic form was very good, but they fell into the top four. I think they fell into the top four. I think when you really look at that final, what happened on the final day, Tottenham turned up on the final day and they weren't turning up for weeks. And that really helped, Chelsea fall into the top four. So when I look at it from that perspective, I think, yes, they still probably have the second or third best squad in the league, but we'll see what happens next season with the Thomas Tuchel. Is the honeymoon period over? Because when you look at trophy-winning Chelsea managers, the second season after it is never really good. Since Jose Mourinho, you haven't had a good back-to-back season from a Chelsea manager. Like Carlo Ancelotti won the league, like the season later, he didn't win it and he was sacked. Di Matteo won the Champions League, was sacked a couple of months later. It's happened consistently at the football club. And if we're going off current trend, Chelsea managers and Chelsea's history, the cookie could crumble again. So for me, I'm going Chelsea third. But look, if they get Haaland or Lukaku, the two Manchester teams are in big trouble if that happens. They're in big trouble.
I've obviously got Chelsea top, so that shows sort of where my thinking is. But now you've got Mel sat on the edge of a seat here. You've got me poised here. Are either of us going to get that fourth place from you?
I have the club I hate most on this planet in fourth place. And I have Liverpool in there.
I'm no guessing who that is then.
Yeah, I have Liverpool in there. For me, you look at the individual talent they have, like some Mo Salah. Even though people say he didn't have a good season, look at his numbers; he was very productive. Van Dijk being back is a big boost for him. I think Konate, the sign of Konate is very shrewd. I think maybe Trent Alexander-Arnold may move into midfield next season. I think we, clip this up. If this happens, if Trent moves in, you can make reference back to this later on, because there's no reason why they sign Konate when they have Joe Gomez there and Phillips. You can maybe see Joe Gomez moving right back next season, because that's where he started off, because Liverpool lack a lot of quality in midfield. I think that really showed this season, in terms of creativity. Teams have figured them out. So I think you may see Liverpool add an extra dimension in their midfield next year by Trent moving inside, and you may see Joe Gomez go right back. So for me, I think Liverpool will be in the top four. But I think when you look at their current squad, they still don't have depth in the squad. And again, if they don't have a good summer, a lot of Liverpool fans are worried. And if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be worried too. If they don't buy shrewdly, their depth in their squad could get found out again this season.
Yeah. Now, the big question for all Leicester fans watching, of course, with the Leicester channel, is where you, as a Man United fan, have put the beloved and the absolutely amazing, and can I just say current FA Cup holders. Let's just thought I'd slip that in again. I haven't mentioned it for about 5 minutes. Leicester City.
Yeah, so I have Leicester City in fifth. Again, by all means, that's a good season for Leicester. Yes. I think they have a very good squad, considering they're going to have Europa League football next year. That's going to be tough doing Thursday, Sunday all season. Look, we done it for the majority of the season. I know we finished second, but towards the second half of the season, there was results that petered off. I think they've bought very well with Samari and Edouard. I think they're two very good signings. Again, I think they will be there.
If we get them.
Look, they're Leicester's board. If I was in your shoes, I'd be trusting them straight away. They're very shrewd in what they do. Yeah. So look, by all means, if the rumor mill is out there and reliable people are reporting it, I would hold confidence in that. And again, look, you have players like Fofana and Soyuncu who are getting a year older. Joe Soyuncu's playing in the Euros. He's going to gain a bit more experience. Fofana, he's going to be a year older. Obviously playing on international duty as well. He's a very good player. And you have players like James Justin to come back. Ricardo's going to be back for full fitness. I know he's missing the Euros, but I think in a way that's going to give him, a good opportunity to really regain full fitness and form with a full pre-season behind him. And then you really have to think about it as well. Kasper Schmeichel, especially everything that's after happening with Christian Eriksen the other day, that was a very sad thing to see. Kasper Schmeichel, I just have to say, he's a natural leader, and you can see how he deals with situations. And I think he'll push himself again to another level next season. I think he's a natural leader, he's a natural winner, and I think he's someone Leicester can always rely on. So for me, look, they have a good squad. Leicester have a very good spine, and look, finishing fifth is not a bad finish for him, really, because you look at the teams above him who will probably spend more money in the summer, whereas Leicester will probably, in the long run, they'll probably do better in the cup competitions than the other clubs above. And look, that's in the evidence that they won the FA Cup last season. So look, I think they could sneak into the top four ahead of Liverpool or even United if we don't sign well this summer. It just depends on the transfer window for me in terms that maybe from second to fourth. It really does.
I've got us as fifth, and I would take fifth as another good season, because, like I say, breaking into the top four is hard. I don't care, whether it's us, Everton, whoever. But I would take fifth. Who have you got bottom of the pile?
Bottom pile, I have to recheck that now. I do believe it's Norwich. I
do believe you're right, sir.
Yeah, Norwich. Look, they have a lot of young players. They did play beautiful football in the Championship last season. But look, let's face it, Championship, I heard Brad earlier, Championship is their level. Like Oliver Skip was who they got on loan from Tottenham Hotspur, was a very, very good midfielder last season for him in holding midfield, and someone who really, was one of the catalysts for helping them win in the Championship last season. He's going back to Spurs now. So again, they're going to be missing a player. I think you look at kind of their defence, it always kind of gets found out in the Premier League. They won't change the way they play. I think that's where Daniel Farkas sometimes can be a bit naive. I think he doesn't change the way he plays, and the proof is in the pudding. Like, they go up and they go down quite consistently. So I do have them to finish bottom. But again, I think for me, 19th and 20th is a toss-up for me.
Yeah, and we've all said it's going to be pretty close down there. 19th, who are you going to place into 19th?
I'm going to put Watford in there. And again, look, proof is in the pudding with this football club. I think the manager merry-go-round that football club is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes,
and like you look at it, it doesn't work. It doesn't, really, really help them. And look, they've a couple of experienced players in their squad, but really and truly, when they come up to the Premier League, they're going to get found out again. And again, whoever's in, I don't even know who's the manager anymore. I stopped bothering that football club a long time ago in terms of taking any interest in them, because they sack managers every 4 months. So for me, I hope they go down. To be quite honest, I don't like the way their club is run. Again, Watford fans, you're watching this, don't take this personally. I just don't like the way your football club is done. It's not that I don't like your football club. I just don't like the way it's run. But again, I just don't.
I have to agree with you there, because I was like that with West Brom this season. The fact that they got rid of oh God, I can't even remember his name now. Who did West Brom get rid of?
Bilic.
Yeah, Bilic, that's it. So soon, and I'm thinking, God, I do hope you just go down now and really struggle. Which
they went to the Etihad, didn't they? The time and got the result, they sacked him the next day.
I know.
The champions of England,
it's just Irish. It's just no disrespect. I realise what I said then. No disrespect. But who have you got in 18th?
I have Crystal Palace to go down. I really looked at this. I was tempted to put Brentford in there and to pick all 3 promoted teams. But I think, look, I think it may be a sentimental thing. I'd like to see him stay up. But when you look at the amount of players that got released from Crystal Palace this summer, it's ridiculous. A lot of experience in there. Now, like Roy Hodgson leaving, the continuity of having him every year to keep him up, that's gone. So this going to be a transitional period for this football club. And again, like the Premier League fixtures get announced tomorrow night. I believe they haven't even announced the manager yet. So again, they're in a race against time to kind of really rebuild this football club. Now, look, obviously they do have Zaha. He could leave. They have Eze. He's after getting a really bad injury, and like he's going to miss the start of the season or barely make the first couple of games. So when you really look at that and you really look at that football club, I think they're destined for relegation this season. Whether it's narrowly or whether they finish bottom, I think there's too much going on at that football club now for them to really stabilise. And we really think we're in June, we're at the 15th of June. There's 6 weeks left in the window to bring in replacements for the amount of players they're after releasing, and they still don't have a manager. So they're up against it. But again, look, if they get Eddie Howe in and he bleeds in a couple of new players and he hasn't played good football, who's to say they can't stay up? Like if they get a couple of players, better players to play around Zaha, maybe they could finish maybe mid-table or just above. But when you look at it now and the way the club looks like it's going to be in disarray next year, I'm not confident that they'd stay up, because I think when you look at Palace, I think they've really underappreciated Roy Hodgson in the last kind of couple of years. They've kind of been looking for more kind of stylish football. But when you really think about it, Roy Hodgson had him punching above their weight, I think.
I think he did, and I think we all tend to think of Roy Hodgson for his England exploits, and probably kind of sort of makes us have a biased view of him. But, there's 4 of us that have put Palace in that bottom 3, me included, and we've all said it's the Roy Hodgson going effect that will help push them down. But, I know Wolves and Everton have still yet to also announce their managers, of course.
Yeah.
Keane, thank you so much. And I haven't called you Wan-Bissaka today, so I'm warming to you. But we all know that's what you're going to call your kid when you have one. Little baby Wan-Bissaka. Hey, give your channels a shout out again.
Yeah, so you can catch me over at the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. And we are live tomorrow for our England versus Scotland preview. So do check that out. I'm going to be there as an unbiased Irishman, along with English and Scots. So do check that out. I'm going to start a pot like hell tomorrow. And you'll also check out our website at www.weeklyarmchairkickoff.com.
Brilliant. Keane, thanks for giving up the time, mate. I know there's a big match on, so I really do appreciate it. I'd say good luck for the rest of for next season, but I wouldn't mean it because you'd probably be you or us going for
look, I'm supporting the French tonight anyway. Joe Paul Pogba's on the big screen, so and France just scored, did they? No, geez, did they? Yeah, 1-0, is it? Yeah, 1-0 France.
1-0 France. Oh, yeah. And who are they playing again? Shows how much interest I've been taking.
The Germans. Yeah, 1-0 France.
Melina.
Waving the crest, and they're after
Melina
scoring.
will be so upset because Melina's loves the Germans. That's her team. But Keane, I'll let you go and watch it, mate. Thanks very much. Now,
no worries, pal.
All the best.
Have a good day.
And you as well. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Cheers.
Bye.
So as you can see there, we have one place still to fill, and that's Craig. Now, unfortunately, Craig can't be with us this evening, so I'm going to do it for him. I know Melina's Melina, you can deny it all you want. I'll dig the tweet out. You know what it's like, you can't get rid of tweets. The internet never lies. But just admit it, Melina. England and Germany, they're your two teams. But no, Craig and Melina, has Craig put Arsenal in that top four? Boom, boom, boom. Let's have a look, because this is what Craig sent through. He was supposed to be going on, but bless him, he can't make it at all. So he actually, funnily enough, the big man, the wise old owl, totally agrees with me for the top four, which is Chelsea. Whoops-a-daisy. Let's just move Manchester City there. He's got Liverpool in third, and he's got Man United in fourth. He's only gone for Leicester in sixth, though. Some mixed ones there. Apart from Brad thought we'd break into the top four. Myself and Keane thought fifth. A couple of sevens and sixes there. I feel like I'm on Strictly Come Dancing here. 10. So who have you got going down, Craig? You've got Watford in 18th. Brentford, bless little old Brentford, in 19th. I do hope they stay up. And Norwich, I just think they'll do it. I really do. I think they'll learn from the mistakes of last time. He's a good manager, Farker, and I think he will learn from his mistakes. So, Scott, hopefully Craig has a wise head on his shoulders and drops Man City out of the top four. Unfortunately, he didn't. He didn't, Scott. So there we go. So that's the the chart there. That's who we think is going to finish where next season. It will all change, of course it will, as we make signings. But then that'd be too easy if we did it when we all knew what was going to happen. Somebody said earlier, and I'm just trying to... where are we here? Just bring it back up here, because somebody mentioned the fact that the fixtures are out tomorrow. Now, I actually... I think it was too far back here. I can't find where it is, but somebody did say earlier that the fixtures were out tomorrow. I don't think that's going to make a difference, to be honest with you. I really don't. And I have to be honest with you, I'm not even going to wake up for it. I couldn't give a damn what the fixtures are, because we've got to play 19 other teams twice. When we play them doesn't really matter. They've all got to be played. And let's be honest with you, if we do well in the Europa League, that's going to change the fixtures. And if we do, the TV, if we do well on the TV, and they're going to want to see more Leicester matches, because hopefully with the crowds being back next season, there will be less games actually on TV, which will be good for sort of, if you go to the ground. And I really hope that happens, although I obviously don't live locally, so I'd have to rely on the TV. But, I just don't think it matters. It really doesn't matter who we play on Boxing Day, whether it's Crystal Palace or Man United. And as a TV will change it all anyway. You think you're playing this team on a Friday, it ends up with playing them on a Monday or even the following week. So it is a waste of time, the fixtures. Let's just not bother. Let's just totally... Andrew Medhurst, that was it, Scott. Thank you very much. I just couldn't find the post. But no, I just don't think it'll make any difference. I really, really don't. But you know, Andrew, that's your opinion, and you are welcome to it. You know, and I respect it. But like I say, I just don't think it's going to make any difference. Guys, we're going to be back, believe it or not, on Thursday, and when we're back, we're going to have a little bit of this.
Let battle commence.
No, we're not. I pressed the wrong one.
Give me 5 from Leicester Till I Die TV.
Join in as we look at the good, the bad, and even the ugly.
Leicester City with Chris and Chumps.
Yes, indeed. We have got a show on Thursday, which is the first of our Give Us 5, when we will be looking. We've got 21 unpopular Leicester City players. Craig's going to be coming in on Thursday, and he's going to be telling us who the 5 most unpopular Leicester City players in order are for himself. That will be interesting. We all think we know who it's going to be, because I've seen a couple of people comment. Will it? Even I don't know who he's going to go for. I think the person that most people are saying will be in the top 5. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Remember, YouTube, give us a subscribe. Press that button. Press that bell. If there's something to be pressed, just press it. Give us a subscribe, please. And if you want to listen to this later, we'll be uploading it to Amazon Music, Google, Apple iTunes, Spotify, and Anchor, to name just 5 podcast platforms. I will see you again on Thursday, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. A bit of a laugh, but something just a little bit different to get us through the Euros. Let's go and see if Mel's team's Germany's doing well or if the French are doing well. I don't like either of them, so I'm really, really, really not bothered. I don't like the French, and I'm obviously, I hate the Germans. Rock in a hard place, really. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Melina saying thank you here. Thanks, Melina. And Scott saying thank you as well. Melina's off to have a look at some roundabouts. I'm off to learn how not to say goodbye too many times. See you all Thursday. Stay safe, guys.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye, and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.
To an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.